This time on Mega Shippers. In Australia, after a 5,700-kilometre voyage from Darwin, a 23,000-tonne oil rig that's been left high and dry needs offloading in the waters off Melbourne.
Are you able to pick up line number 4? Pick up. Hold on the brake. Stop number 2.
Stop.
In Greenock, Scotland, pilot John Teal steers a 10-metre wide ship through a narrow harbour entrance, with vital components to keep a local passenger ferry in service.
It is a contact sport. There is times when vessels will have a heavy landing or have a collision with other ships.
Also in Scotland, driver Kevin Muffet battles to find his way out of a forest plantation with a load of 6-metre Christmas trees.
Out in the middle of nowhere on wee back roads, no street lights, no nothing.
Around the world,
We are going in, let's go.
there's a hidden army of workers
Things can go wrong really, really fast.
who, in the face of danger and turbulent times, work in all weathers, day and night, to deliver no matter what.
Stop number 2.
Stop.
Step into the $6 trillion world of heavy logistics. Meet the people for whom no load is too heavy,
Anything up in the air, it wants to come down.
no item too big,
It's a case of demolition, destruction, and make it happen.
and no route too difficult.
The more that I get off, the less stress that I have.
An industry dedicated to one common goal:
Keep it coming, mate, keep it coming.
keeping the planet moving by land, air, and sea. Meet the Mega Shippers. Darwin, Australia. At sea today is the MV Osprey, a specialist 54,000-tonne semi-submersible heavy lift vessel. Over the last 4 days, her crew have completed one of the biggest challenges in ocean shipping: the loading of a massive 23,000-tonne oil rig known as a jacker onto her deck.
Use my baby. She's the hero of our movie.
Responsible for all aspects of this complex procedure is Loadmaster Yegor Kordursky.
We submerge the main deck under the water and we tow and drag the cargo on top of the vessel.
By taking on 3,000 tonnes of seawater an hour into her 69 ballast tanks, Osprey's main deck submerged to a depth of 22 metres.
We are start moving now.
This allows tugs and the tide to float the massive jack-up rig Noble Tom Prosser onto 943 metres of wooden deck cribbing.
Judging by guidepost, the rig is sitting perfectly in position.
With the jack-up rig in place, the Osprey resurfaced and the rig was secured. But for Yegor and Osprey's crew, that was only half the job. Having successfully loaded the rig and secured it onto Osprey's deck, she will be sailing 5,700 kilometres to Melbourne, southeast Australia, before the offload and a new venture in the rich Bass Strait oil fields. For ship's master Victor Borowski, sailing around quarter of a continent presented a few challenges.
After 10 days of good, smooth voyage, finally we arrived in Melbourne. When we arrived, approaches to the Port Phillip Bay, we experienced the wind up to 35 knots. And the sea was 3 meters high, and we had to wait another 24 hours while weather get better.
Now at anchor, Loadmaster Yegor Kordursky is rejoining Osprey after a 5,700-kilometre voyage.
We can see Osprey.
It will be down to him to safely offload the 23,000-tonne rig from her deck.
It will take 2 days from now on to discharge the rig from the Osprey. It will be the complex operation which will involve the crew of Osprey and the crew of rig plus 3 tugs, so it will be about 80 persons. Tomorrow we will complete preparation for discharging and we'll start ballasting the Osprey down. And the early morning of the day after tomorrow, the main deck of the vessel will go deeply under the water and the rig will start floating. We will have at this moment tugs connected to the cargo, and with the help of cargo lines from the Osprey, the rig will become free and will be moving with the help of tugs.
The 23,000-ton jack-up rig belongs to drilling company Noble. And heading out to check it's arrived undamaged, company rep and marine support engineer Ben Sherwood.
I've got my crew out here with me. We're going to go on board and see how she weathered during the transit. We've brought out about 15 guys. We're looking to see how the equipment runs. Sometimes when the rig is off for this long, you might have trouble starting up some of the electrical equipment. So it's good to get a head start on that before we put her back in the ocean. The legs are 170 meters in the air, which is pretty big for a jackup. Also, the drilling equipment is what they call high spec. So it's a really sought after jackup for drilling. And it's pretty big.
Working alongside Yegor and the Osprey's crew, Ben's team have flown in from around the world to oversee all aspects of the offload operation from the rig point of view.
Do you mind if I go see the captain?
Yes,
Okay.
With a busy few days ahead, Yegor has got the Osprey's crew hard at work.
The Osprey crew, as you can see, removing sea fastenings. Sea fastening are those steel blocks, we call them chocks of different types, which was holding the rig during the passage from Darwin all the way to Melbourne.
Although this is just one aspect of the preparation, at the moment, Yegor seems confident.
Well, the weather looks good. Well, of course, touching the wood, I'm superstitious, so touching the wood, but the weather looks good for discharging operation for early morning the day after tomorrow.
Meanwhile, Ben continues his inspection of the rig.
So I just talked to the captain to see how the voyage went. So he gave me the key back to the rig. We'll go unlock everything and take a look.
Greenock, on the west coast of Scotland. An industrial town and port that saw rapid expansion during the 19th century. Capitalising on the boom in sugar refining and shipbuilding, Greenock docks accommodated ships too big to reach Glasgow, further up the River Clyde. Harbour pilot John Teal is off to guide one such vessel safely into port.
Afternoon, Andy. Afternoon, old boy.
The 1,500-ton Wilson EMS.
So a pilot is here to give the master of the vessel advice to the local weather conditions, the tide conditions and other factors such as the depth of the surrounding waters and things, just so that the vessel can navigate safely in the area and get to its destination in a safe and controlled way. This is one of the biggest that we take going into this dock. Be an interesting one.
Wilson EMS is carrying a 15-ton load of steel ramp doors from Lithuania, essential for vehicle access onto vital ferries that operate between the mainland and Scotland's west coast islands.
James Watt Dock is quite tricky. It has a narrow entrance that we'll have to adjust the ship to get in the right position with the wind and the tides just to get in safely through the middle of the entrance. Right, Andy, catch you later on, mate. Cheers, mate.
Wilson EMS is 10 metres wide and 73 metres long.
Yeah, good evening to you. That's us at Kempot Point now, heading in for James Watt Dock. No traffic, is there? Aye, aye. So, Captain, yeah, if they could rig fenders on the port side, please. Okay. There'll be no fenders at the berth.
Okay, understood. What's the decision?
To be a pilot here, you have to have tests to prove that you've got local knowledge. So every pilot here knows the waters inside out.
Слушай, давай сначала кран с потом трем, ладно?
It is basically a contact sport. You know, you're putting something that is designed to travel at sea. You're putting them alongside often a stone wall. So yeah, there is times quite often when vessels will have a heavy landing or you know, have a collision with other ships. So I'll just reduce the speed nice and low, and we will stick very close to the red side so it's almost a straight line so we can see what the tide is doing.
The dock is only 20 metres wide, so John Teal will be manoeuvring the 1,500-ton ship with just 5 metres spare on either side.
So the entrance is not level, Captain. We'll go in a little bit and then alter course to port, so I'll bring her over shortly towards the starboard side.
This is the most crucial part of entering the dock. If the approaching speed and direction are not perfect, the size and weight of this vessel means avoiding a collision will be near impossible.
Okay, Captain, just reducing the bow thruster again.
The Wilson approaches James Watt Dock, cruising at a gentle 3 kilometres per hour. He now has to avoid 1,500 tons of metal from hitting the harbour entrance wall.
The best thing to do is not really get stressed about it and just see how the ship's reacting. At the moment, we're just using a tiny little bit of bow thruster and everything else is stopped, and we've just got it drifting in nicely by ourselves. So we'll just keep giving her little kicks of the engine, and that'll be it. Just bring her in nice and easy. I think this is the headline position, Captain. Headline? Yes, yeah.
John Teal instructs the ground crew to prepare the spring lines used to secure the stern and bow to the dock.
Now we're just putting the ship in the final position. We've got about 10 metres to come astern, just so it's easier for them to lift out the cargo.
The ship must be close to the wall and the ferry that's waiting for its 2 7.5-ton doors to be delivered. As close as possible, but without colliding.
5 metres, is it?
Yeah, go ahead, 5. Where in the hole? Yeah. Where in the hole does it ramps?
Where in the hole is the major bit? All the way. All the way, as far as we can. Maybe 10 more, eh? 10 metres more, Captain.
Okay.
We'll be close to the ferry, eh?
Еще 10 метров корму идем.
We'll end up about 5 metres from the ferry, but that's good enough. That'll be fine. Stern's just 1 metre off, half a metre for the bow.
With pilot John Teal's part of the job finished, the stevedores can take over. As Wilson EMS raises a 25-ton, 3-panelled hydraulic steel deck, ready for unloading to begin.
Happy there, mate?
Port Phillip Bay, Melbourne, Australia. On board the semi-submersible vessel MV Osprey, loadmaster Yegor Kordersky is meeting with crew members and representatives from the rig company. Today, it's vital they finalise preparations for offloading the massive 23,000-ton jack-up rig Noble Tom Prosser, currently sitting on deck. In the pump room, Chief Engineering Officer Algis Alexounas and his team begin submerging Osprey's main deck.
All pumps are running, pumpman in place, and start slowly coming underwater. Operation start 1330 and expect 14 hours.
Osprey's specialist design enables her to submerge by filling 69 ballast tanks with seawater.
This green color showing level the ballast water inside the tank.
Unlike when a vessel springs a leak, Osprey's ballast tanks are designed to gradually take on water, which is balanced across her hull, so she doesn't suddenly tilt or capsize.
At the present moment, 4,000 liters per hour, but the total will be more than 50,000 liters.
In 14 hours, when Osprey has taken on board 50,000 litres of seawater, her main deck will have submerged to a depth of 22 metres. It's vital the water is evenly distributed across the ballast tanks, or Osprey could easily capsize.
Bubble on this instrument equipment showing a list of the vessel. And I am more trust on, on this bubble like the trust on this computer.
With his faith resting in this old-school technology, he needs to keep an eye on the bubble for the next 14 hours. As Osprey's deck continues to submerge, on the bridge, Loadmaster Yegor Kordersky outlines his plans for the next day.
The tug's going to be used for discharge and is coming early morning tomorrow around 3 o'clock. Crew will wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and will stand by from 4:30. Actually, operation will start around 5 o'clock with the first daylight. So at the moment, and touching the wood, all looks good.
In the pump room, Algis continues to monitor Osprey's steady submersion. Whilst up in the wardroom, Yegor calls a meeting with Osprey's crew to brief them on the offload operation.
Tomorrow we have a plan to discharge this rig. We will need to hold the rig against guide post for the long time of 2 hours. That's to get a spud cans out of the main deck.
The jack-up rig is a self-elevating drilling platform with a buoyant hull, supported by 3 169-metre triangular legs with inverted cone or spud can bases that provide stability when resting on the seabed. When the rig was loaded, 2 triangular holes were cut into Osprey's deck. The 2 spud cans slotted into these holes, with the third resting over the side to secure her in place. Yegor needs to ensure the Osprey submerges deep enough so that these spud cans can float out of their holes before the rig is pulled free by tugs using cables or lines.
So for operation, the lines number 1 and number 2 are very good. They are long and they will be pulling the rig out.
With the briefing complete, Yegor decides to check on the submersion progress.
We're inside a stairway, and from here we can see ballasting. Now at the moment, 4 meters below the water, it's the main deck of the ship. The draft from the rig is 2.5 meters already.
But the Osprey needs to submerge another 18 meters before the operation can begin, by which time Yegor and his team will be in seriously deep water. In Greenock, on the southern shore of the Firth of Clyde in Scotland, James Watt Dock, named after local resident and hero of the Industrial Revolution, who back in the 1880s helped make this site the hub of activity it is today. Wilson EMS is raising her multi-fold hydraulic hatch.
Take the truck right down to the bottom end.
Lead engineer Robert Hall is overseeing the discharge of her cargo. 2 solid steel ramp doors needed to repair the Lock of Dunvegan, an essential passenger ferry operating between the mainland and the Isle of Bute.
We're not taking them off as a double, we'll take them off single. And it lets us see actual weight for when we go to fit them to the vessel that's currently in our dock.
A 50-ton compact lever crane, 4 solid steel link chains and non-slip slings are attached to the first 7.5-ton ramp door.
Right, Duffy, all right?
After the banksman gives the all clear, everyone waits to see how the load responds to becoming airborne.
What we're doing now is we're just looking at the lift itself, looking at the length of the chains, see how she wants the lift. And all we'll do is we'll inch them ever so slightly just to see what it wants to do. What's he like, aren't we?
At 7.2 metres wide, the door only just fits the 7.6 metre wide hold.
All right, Ian. Nice and easy.
The crane needs to go steady.
It's a good lift. It's a good lift.
Wooden chocks are loaded on top of the doors. They'll be placed underneath as the door is lowered dockside. They'll protect its paintwork on landing. That's if there's no damage on the way up.
Stay out, make sure you're not trapped in between the bulkheads.
After 4 months manufacture, any mistakes now will delay the ferry going back into service.
Tight enough.
Even the heavy lift shackles have been dispensed with.
We don't want to go welding to, somebody's new toy. So we're just utilising the hinge pins and all that's there. It makes life a bit easier. All right, settled. Looking good, looking good. Take her up, it's clear.
Just over 7.5 tons is raised 20 metres in the air and onto dry land. The 4 wooden chocks are strategically placed beneath it before it's lowered onto the dock. And the team move on to lift the second ramp door.
Every lift has got its own unique challenge, but all the guys are all qualified. We'll look at any obstacles, quayside, shipside, crane drivers. Anyone can stop it at any stage.
After 1 hour and 30 minutes, both ramp doors are safely dockside, ready to be fitted in the morning.
Fire clear the hold.
It's 8 AM, and passenger ferry Loch Dunvegan is getting a new ramp doors put on. There's just one problem. The metal pins that connect the folding doors to a bow don't fit. It's down to Robert to create a different size bushing made of engineering plastic, metal or rubber. Bushings are like washers, and a different size should make for a better fit.
We'll physically take liquid nitrogen, minus 196 degrees C. We'll shrink the bushes down, so we'll just drop in nicely, and then we obviously carry a couple of beers in there as well,
While it's still shrunken, Steve needs to get the bushel into the hole fast.
That's looking good. Just let it heat up now and hopefully it takes. Bit easier with a nylon because it shrinks, so it'll shrink down more. Obviously we do the steel, we haven't got the luxury of in and out. You usually only get one chance at it before it'll take. So that's her heating up. Obviously now the ambient temperature, she's taking her bite, that's her in. Nearly give us a 25 down, would you? All we're doing is just checking the inside diameter of the bore.
Robert takes a crucial measurement to check the metal pin will now fit inside.
The client wanted a size of 95.66 millimetre, and that's us at 95.65. So 100th. So that's one of your whiskers. So we're happy with that.
The 7.2 metre wide, 9.2 metre long metal boat doors are once again craned into position, ready to be attached.
It's nice and easy, Andy.
Engineer Jim McCauley steers the telescopic compact Liebherr crane into position as Robert waits to see if he's solved the problem and the doors will fit. Port Phillip Bay, Melbourne, Australia. Prepping for today's cargo offload, a jack-up oil rig, the heavy lift vessel MV Osprey has continued submerging overnight. Her main deck is now 22 metres below the surface, so the rig can be floated off. Waiting for the sunrise on deck is Loadmaster Yegor Kordersky, the man responsible for this massive operation.
It's almost 5 o'clock in the morning. This morning is a discharging operation. We will discharge the rig. The sun is coming. Before that time we will have everybody on station. We have 3 tugs with the crew. We have a rig with the crew, and we have Osprey. So, and the joint forces of all these teams will be conducting this operation.
Running a combined team of around 80 people, it's going to be a busy day.
We feel good, exciting, a little bit nervous as usual.
Everyone is waiting for the operation to begin. From Second Officer Alex Pribilov to Ballast Room Chief Engineer Algis Alexounas.
8.2. We're waiting when the loadmaster will say, "Okay, guys, let's go discharging the cargo."
And in charge of deck operations, running a multinational, multilingual crew, is Osprey's bosun Maris Vankousis.
Probably 7 o'clock in the morning time, the rig start floating. And for us, most important, they keep this rig in position. And most important, to keep all ropes very, very tight. All operation going very slowly, because most important to don't turn the rig.
As Osprey submerges, the rig's buoyant hull will enable her to begin floating off the 943 meters of wooden deck cribbing she sat on during her voyage from Darwin.
Yeah, it's the pressure, you know. Need to 100% to shore, everything be perfect. Nothing gone wrong, you know.
It's a serious challenge. If one leg releases before the others, the rig will twist in the current, potentially causing millions of pounds of structural damage.
This is cargo very important, yeah, you know. Every centimeter in this job is very important.
So to stop the rig turning, 4 brand new 6 centimeter Dyneema fiber ropes with a braking strain of 300 tons will hold her in position until all 3 leg bases, or spud cans, have floated clear. Maris needs to keep an eye on these vital lines at all times.
In this moment, we need to be sure the ropes is very tight. You can see in this moment, it's like a steel bar, yeah? Maximum power on the winch. If we have some small slack on any rope, it means the rig can start little bit moving. And this is problem for the other 3 ropes. If rig start moving and if something going out of control, not good.
An hour later, waiting for the deck to flood sufficiently for all 3 leg bases of the rig to clear the wooden cribbing and spud can holes, it's a tense time for Maris and his crew.
All crew, we feel the pressure because the cargo is very heavy. Most important, every line listen the commands from the loading master. When the water level coming up, the ship submerging, this means the probably 20 centimeters, and from creeping, rig start to slowly pick up. This.
Roadmaster, ballast control, looks like it's 20 centimeters now.
You heard 20 centimeters now. Right now we have this draft contact.
Following that announcement from Chief Engineer Algis Alexounas in the ballast room, everyone knows the rig is just about floating clear. Now Maris and his team must hold their nerve as the 23,000-ton jack-up rig becomes exposed to the sea's current.
I operate this winch. We're just holding and waiting for commands from loading master. And rig slowly start to move out. I need release, meter by meter. This means if something going wrong with line number 1 or line number 2, I need immediately make this rope tight to holding rig again in position.
Now, with all 4 line stations working together, along with the tugs, Loadmaster Yegor must oversee the whole operation.
Okay, it's 9 meters on top of the main deck, and tell me estimated time of arrival over there.
On the other side of the boat, in charge of line 2, Serdi Soik has received good news.
Now it's cargo detached, it's floating, but still legs are down, and we need maybe 2 hours more for ballasting. Number 2 slack, yeah, but...
Slack more, number 2.
Okay, number 2 slack more. Daj malo. Slack.
Stop, number 2.
Stop, stop. Number 2, stop.
Despite all 4 line stations constantly monitoring the rig's offload progress, the current has turned the rig and a line has become slack.
Now it's slack. You can see that it's laying on the line number 4.
The rig must be kept perfectly in position until they finish submerging, or there's a danger one of her legs will catch an Osprey's submerged deck cribbing, twisting the entire structure and causing millions of pounds of damage.
Are you able to pick up line number 4? Pick up, pick up. Hold on the brake.
Fife, Scotland. And staff at the Williamson haulage yard are gearing up for the busiest time of year.
Hello, Williamson.
An estimated 8 million Christmas trees mark the start of the festive season in homes across the UK. And most of them will pass through a distribution hub like this one. HGV driver Kevin Moffat is on his way to do a pickup from a forest 40 kilometres away. It's a job that runs in the family.
I was always going to end up doing it. My granddad had a haulage farm and then my dad's got his own lorry still as well, so it was one of those things that was always going to happen with me.
Today, Kevin's collecting 9 Christmas trees, each one over 6 metres tall. They've all been specially chosen to bring festive spirit to Scotland's towns and cities. The only truck big enough for the job is 15 metres long. Not ideal for navigating through Scotland's forest plantations.
You turn off the main road and you turn onto, it's nearly a single track road. You can get a car past at a very push at certain bits. It's just wide enough for the lorry and it's going to be muddy and it's raining.
Finally on site, Kevin has 40 minutes to be loaded and back on the move before nightfall. Each tree weighs close to a tonne and has taken 25 years to grow to the right height. Wrapped in netting to prevent damage and strapped down, 9 tonnes of festive spirit is ready to head back to the haulage yard. But with winter nights drawing in fast, things haven't gone to plan.
The rain's not helping, it's misty. It's just one of those ones that's out in the middle of nowhere on the wee dark roads. There's no street lights, no nothing.
Low-hanging branches have caught on the safety straps. If loosened, the trees could fall off the truck.
We've come out the road end, just down the farm track, so just got to check the straps. Yeah, they're all tight.
Safety check over, Kevin's back behind the wheel. The trees must be ready to head out in the morning. It's 7 a.m. and driver Nick Fleming is on the morning shift. He's taking 4 of the specially chosen Christmas trees to Paisley, an industrial town just outside Glasgow. The time slot for delivery is 3 hours, so he needs to find the location quickly.
Coming into Paisley, we've got 4 different sites we need to locate the trees, so we need to call the customer and find out what one we're going to be going to first to meet the boys that's going to help us erect it. It can be stressful, but I mean, you try and keep your stress levels low, and it makes everything easier when you're not stressing.
By the time Nick arrives at his first destination in Paisley, a specialist team from the local council are on standby to give a hand.
We'll put the legs out, take the straps off, lift the tree 3/4 of the way up, swing it round, we'll try it for size in the hole, we'll sit it on the timbers, the boys will trim it, and then hopefully land it, put the chocks in, that's us.
It's the crane at the back of Nick's truck that will be doing all the heavy work. It can lift between 12 and 30 tonnes. Controlled by Nick, the tree must be carefully manoeuvred off the trailer into a metre-wide hole. But with a weight of 1 tonne, the slightest movement creates momentum, causing the tree to swing precariously.
Makes it difficult with all the pedestrians. We'll get the boys.
What, do you want to ride the whole block?
A wee bit.
It's in. It may look sturdy, but right now, it's at its most vulnerable.
Because it is a tree that's been cut down, it's weaker. The structure's weakened. The drier it gets, the weaker it will get. So I mean, you've got to have it in a good metre, and it's got to be compacted at the bottom with wooden chocks, or it'll snap with the wind.
With the trunk secured, one of the team releases the crane's harness.
Trees up, trees straight.
And the first of St. Nick's Christmas deliveries is done.
We're ready to rock and roll.
The second of Paisley's festive centrepieces goes in without a hitch. But then the jobs go off-road, literally. For unloading on uneven ground, 30 tonnes of truck need to be stabilised.
Put it down just as it was, it would push the slabs down, probably break them, so spread the weight bearing and hopefully it'll not damage anything or sink into the ground.
And it's not just the ground that Nick needs to keep an eye on.
The cars are a bit close there, and so we've just got to watch when we bring the tree up, we swing it around the other way away from the cars.
Another jewel in Paisley's Christmas decorations is offloaded, but then the team discover a sizable problem.
It's not a really deep hole in this one, so the branches are up a wee bit higher, so we're going to take a foot off the bottom of the tree and then put it back in, it should be good.
And a spot of festive pruning is needed.
We're not needing to trim any off the sides because the hole's quite a considerable sized hole. So 1 foot off the bottom and then should be a nice fit. Yeah, it's a good fit, It's a lot better now. We just need to straighten it up, put the chocks in, and then we can move on to the next tree.
By the time Nick reaches the final location in Paisley, he's got that sinking feeling again.
It's a bit trickier. The traffic just keeps coming up the inside here. I mean, we've got soft ground here, so we need to use the big pad, spread the weight out.
900mm metal pad should do the job. But this is a busy road, so speed as well as safety is crucial. With the final tree installed, it looks like Nick has ensured Paisley will be lit up in time for a magical Christmas.
At the end of the day, everybody gets a Christmas tree. It's good.
In Greenock, Scotland, lead engineer Robert Hall has called in Jim McCauley to give him a hand, fitting 2 boat ramp doors on the 1,500-tonne ferry Loch Dunvegan.
All right.
Yep, perfect.
It's needed back in service tomorrow to ferry passengers between the Isle of Bute and the mainland.
There we go. That's perfect. Perfect. There's no, as you can see, there's no slap, no excessive clearance. So, good job all round.
By the time this comes down and into position, you're talking about millimetres. If he's not right, then we're up against it. Right, Andy, hold that.
Robert's brainwave to shrink the bushes that line each hinge joint should mean the 4 steel pins, once greased, will fit.
Look. There we go. Never been far too easy. If this goes in, we might be home in about best part of an hour. If not, it could be 5. Andy, can you just put your weight on the ramp? There's not much in it. Wee bit too much. I'm confident. Confident, like it. There we go. Oh, get a look, you're always on tonight. Right, slacken that off a wee touch. Yep.
With 2 pins in, they're halfway there.
We're going to need a bit of manipulation involved to get the final 2 pins in. And the way the ramp's sitting at the moment is on one end, it's actually the ramp needs to go up, and on the other end, it actually needs to go down.
We've put a jack up above off the old ramp to pump down the new ramp. We've now realigned it all, so hopefully we'll offer the pin up to it and see if it goes in. Hey, Tony.
Right.
How's that?
That's you. That's it.
And there we go. That was quite easy compared to some.
Now the doors are on, they'll undergo basic checks once the ship's back on water. And for that to happen, Loch Dunvegan joins 2 other vessels, making the final transition from dry dock to wet.
That's us in the pumping down process now. So we've got the big pumps on and we're currently pumping the dock. Come this way, I'll show you the pump room. Pumps are actually 1929. They're ferry age. It's a primary pump room. Each pump's the big Drysdale pumps. And the noise that you hear, that's actually the starter chokes. The pumps themselves you can hardly hear. But that's 1929 technology. They'll pump 1,500 litres a second. That's what they were designed to do, and that's what they're still doing all these years later.
After 4 hours, Loch Dunvegan is afloat, and she's gently eased out of the lock.
I love what I do, and you do get satisfaction out of seeing the end product and the customer sailing away, you know what I mean, for another day at sea. As the old expression goes, an empty jetty's a happy jetty. A day alongside's a day wasted at sea.
She will now need to pass sea trials and a load test of 44 tonnes on the new ramp doors. But if all goes to plan, Loch Dunvegan will finally be returned to service. In Port Phillip Bay, Melbourne, Australia, the crew of specialist heavy lift vessel MV Osprey are 4 hours into the offload of a 23,000-tonne oil rig.
Are you able to pick up line number 4? Pick up.
But as her main deck submerged, one of the ropes keeping her in position slackened.
Who does the brake?
Now, drifting with the tide, she's in danger of damaging her structure as she twists in the current.
Let go number 4. Let go and let go your lines. We are flicking.
But by tightening the tension on the other lines, Bosun Maris's quick thinking prevented the rig drifting. But the pressure is beginning to show.
Everybody start to tired because they long time need to wait, you know. Wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and all positions need to be standby 5 o'clock in the morning. It's mean we already here 3 hours and it looks like 1 hour more we need to wait to discharging the rig. And it's also cold. Somebody don't take some breakfast. What we gonna do? We need to survive.
Keeping an eye on his spirit level in the ballast room, Chief Engineer Algis monitors Osprey's deck depth, draft and stability.
Now also discharging, we are past this contact draft with the cargo now afloat. We are waiting 22 meters and when the loadmaster will say, okay guys, let's go discharging the cargo.
Finally, it looks like the Osprey's deck is at the required 22-metre offload depth, and Loadmaster Yegor can begin the final stage of the process.
I'm ready to let go the breath lines.
Okay, start to let go breath lines.
Releasing the tension on all 4 lines. Whilst using tugs to pull the rig slowly off deck. From his position on the rig, Yegor directs each of the 4 lines from Osprey as they slacken.
Slowly, slowly, slowly. Start slowly picking up number 2.
Number 2 picking up.
Keeping control of 4 lines and the tugs is an exercise in synchronicity and an extremely demanding job.
Okay, line number 4, look at me and on your line, okay? Stop number 2 stop.
Centimetre by centimetre, as the ropes slacken from Osprey and the tugs take the strain, the jack-up moves off Osprey's deck. The final stage, to release the ropes. And just like that, in under 30 minutes, 23,000 tonnes of rig has been pulled clear of Osprey's 22-metre submerged main deck. For Maris and the crew, the relief is obvious.
Good job! Oh, Mr. Filippo. Behind me, I have the cargo. Happy. Perfect.
For Loadmaster Yegor, this is the culmination of a long project that started 5,700 kilometers away in Darwin.
We are really happy now because it marks the end of the project. Everything went great today. Personally, this is the best moment of the project. Everybody, we feel ourselves very happy and satisfied and even a little bit relaxed.
But for Victor, the captain of this remarkable vessel, it's just another day at sea.
This morning we did this job. Tonight we have to sail directly to China to take another cargo. And after China we have to go to Qatar. And then from Qatar to Emirates and then to Scotland. This vessel never stops.